Welcome back, and thanks for joining us today. In the last episode, we discussed building your foundation and getting those early wins. Today, we're moving into one of the biggest challenges for new agents, picking up the phone. We're talking about rejection, fear, and what it really takes to turn hesitation into action. This is something that almost every agent struggles with, especially early on, I would say. Why does calling something that seems, so simple feel so intimidating for so many of those agents?
I probably sound like a broken record when I say this. Biology. It goes back to that. People perceive that call because of the uncomfortable feeling that it's something that they shouldn't do. And it's the brain trying to protect them, but the brain doesn't know the difference between the real danger or an emotional, right? And it's giving you that signal. So individuals will interpret that signal as it's uncomfortable. And because it's uncomfortable, I need to accept it as such. And instead of identifying it as a signal, instead of it being because of danger, it's a signal that is telling you there is an opportunity for growth. So it takes a mindset shift in order to achieve that, but it's that initial uncomfortable feeling where the brain is, because it's unsure, is telling you that there is potential danger, but we don't live in a time where these emotional feelings are dangerous.
Right. So would you say that it's not really about the call itself, but really more so the feeling behind it, the fear of rejection or not being good enough?
It is that underlying fear of, you say rejection, not being good enough, and not wanting that to be real. So because you don't want to tell yourself that you're not good enough, the brain will have these emotional triggers that are all chemical based to make you feel uncomfortable. And when you feel uncomfortable, you want to push that thing off. What I would say, however, is understand those feelings. And instead of seeing them as danger, which is what the brain is kind of wanting you to feel, but we don't live in a time where we are prey, where these massive predators are going after us. It's more emotion based. But again, the brain and the body can't differentiate between the real and the emotional. So it's feedback. It's telling you that there is an opportunity for growth and development. And once you identify it as such, it starts to make the next action more real toward you achieving that thing.
You've said before that fear doesn't really go away. You just kind of learn to move through it. What helps you do that in moments when fear shows up?
So what I would say is that it's about understanding and preparing for those moments. Again, we are not living in a time where we are prey. So when you are asked to give a speech in front of 200 people and you have that queasy feeling, it's kind of the same feeling that you may get if you're being chased by this massive creature. Right? But you need to understand that putting yourself in front of 200 persons to give a speech isn't a dangerous life and death type situation. So recognizing it as such and understanding that out of it will come growth is the thing that I would say we need to have an understanding of. Now, what I do is train and prepare myself for moments like that. So that whenever I'm in those situations, I'm already skilled to manage and cope through it. So the one thing that I would offer is identify when this feeling is coming through. And there is a person, I forget her name right now, but she has this 5-second rule where when something is causing that feeling, you count to 5. And by you counting to 5, it helps to offset that initial emotional response that you may get. And then it allows for you to have a more thoughtful response. So that's what I would offer.
I think that's key. So when someone's in that place, when they're kind of feeling stuck and hesitant, unsure, fearful, what's the first step that they could maybe take to start breaking through that fear?
Acknowledge it. Being honest with yourself allows you to take the next step to improve.
Facing it head on,
Yeah. And once you acknowledge it, and you can peel back and understand what's causing that thing, right? Is it that I'm not properly prepared to have the conversation with the potential client lead? Is it that I may not be having clarity on the different options that may be available? And if those are the issues that's causing that uncomfortable feeling, then put that plan in place to develop the skill, if it is a skill, acquire the information so that you now have knowledge. And in doing so, the next time a conversation comes up, more skilled, more informed, that feeling will not be as significant as it previously was.
So before agents even start dialing, how can they use practice and preparation to build real confidence?
I'm sure we had discussed this in one of the previous, but I'll say that confidence comes from, being proficient, being prepared. And once you have developed some level of proficiency, the ease of making that dial becomes a bit easier. It becomes a bit easier. What I would say is, define a plan where you're going to practice for some amount of time on a daily, and then weekly, number of hours, and then monthly. And the reason why you want it to be consistent is, again, going back to biology, the neurons, which helps with memory. The more frequently you can do something within a short window, you help to create those connections so that it becomes muscle memory,
like
automatic, that you no longer have to think about it for it to happen. So create that plan. If it is 30 minutes, an hour a day, you have 2.5 to 5 hours a week, you have some number of hours per month. The more you can do in a short period of time, the faster that muscle will build, and the better you will become prepared, and those icky feeling that you get, nervousness, will dissipate.
Once they're calling, rejection becomes part of the process. How do you personally view rejection now?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, I would say, that we take it personally at times. And within the life insurance business and just sales in general, there will be no's. It's just part of the process.
Right.
And understanding what that no means. It's not a reflection, and I would say majority of the time, it's not a reflection on the person as an individual, but it's feedback. And one should take that feedback and dissect it to understand why. And once you do and identify the why, you can now figure out and plan what to do to ensure that. Was it that I wasn't keenly listening to that person to understand that it just wasn't the right time? They were not in the right headspace. They were, busy with whatever it might be, personal matters. Is it that they are potentially interested, but the way, the tone, you came across selling, right? So understanding those helps you to then fix those problems so that the next opportunity outcome would be better. So no isn't a personal attack on you, the individual. It's it's about learning from that feedback and figuring out how to improve. So the no isn't a personal attack. Right? The no is simply feedback that you have as a benefit to you, so that you can go learn from it and
helps you
improve.
improve.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a key reminder. In your mind, the key is learning from rejection instead of being stopped by it. How can Asians start really making that shift in their mindset to really adopt that lens?
I worked for a large technology-based company, IBM, and the CEO for this particular point that I'm making at the time, Ginny Rometty, said that growth and comfort can never coexist. And I will challenge anyone to think about moments in which they had the most growth. And was it doing something that they knew exactly how to do, or was it doing something that they either were not good at, the outcome wasn't what they expected, they failed at it, and it would be those moments. So if you want to be comfortable, understand that you will not grow and develop. It's just a fact. So embracing that uncomfortable feeling and having a shift in mindset that uncomfortable feeling is a signal, not for you not to do it, but it's a signal that the body is saying, hey, I'm preparing you for some growth and development here. And if you can do that, if you can have that mindset shift, you will be more likely now to accept those moments. And growth and development will definitely occur.
Yeah, I think that's a powerful, powerful reframe. For someone listening right now who knows that they need to start making those calls, but they maybe keep hesitating a little bit, what do you think could be one small action that they could take this week to move forward?
It's to have have a different perspective on what a call really means, making a call.
Mm-hmm.
Because persons, they will see it as I'm calling and the outcome is going to possibly be a no.
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of the outcomes will be no. There's just no if, ands, or buts.
Mm-hmm.
So an example I'll give for this is,
Mm-hmm.
let's assume that you have 100 leads,
Mm-hmm.
and you will call each lead twice, just the nature of things.
Yep.
You call, and then they don't pick up, you may call again.
Right.
So let's say the average is 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to end up making 200 calls. But of the 100 leads, let's assume that based on the type of leads, there are, you're going to connect with 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say of the 10, you end up having 6 appointments, and of the 6 appointments, you end up writing 3 policies,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the average policy, let's say, is $1,000.
Yep.
So you now have $3,000. How many calls? You made 200 calls.
Yeah.
$3,000.
Yeah.
So the average, let's say, commission
Mm-hmm.
per call
Mm-hmm.
is $15.
Wow.
So if you shift that mindset from I'm making calls and I know a majority of them will be no's, to every call that I make, if the numbers pan out,
Mm-hmm.
as I just described,
Yep.
so for every 100 leads, you're going to make 200 calls. And every 200 calls you make, you're going to make $3,000.
Yeah.
Every call then is it's worth $15. So just make it, because once you get through that 3 policies will happen.
Yeah.
So it's a simple shift in the mind to think about it, and it makes the individual agents understand that whatever the outcome is of that call, it is what it is.
Yeah.
When you do the numbers and get through,
Yeah. And
your 3 out of that 100 will happen.
Yeah, and every small step has that value. I think that's really key.
Absolutely.
If someone only remembers one thing from this conversation, what do you hope that it is?
No isn't failure. No is simply someone giving you some feedback.
Mm.
And once you analyze the feedback, it can give you some direction in where you may be lacking.
Mm-hmm.
And once you understand where you're lacking, you can put a plan in place to then address those gaps. Yes.
I think that's key.
And one of the things, talking about the practicing,
Mm-hmm.
different ways of doing it,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can have your scripts and you can just rehearse.
Mm-hmm.
You can practice in front of friends and family. One of the critical things I would also say as part of the practicing is making sure that you get feedback from someone who has an insight in proper skills and techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the worst things to do is to practice and you're practicing on a delivery that isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
So you now create these bad habits,
Right.
challenging to fix.
Right.
So Trafnax, as one of the applications that we've developed, allows agents in that AI-based practice environment where they can practice and get the feedback, the real-time feedback, so that they can tweak and modify those areas that need to be improved.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that last point that I would just make.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect note to end on. So for everyone listening, this week is your chance to take that one small step. Make that call, practice that conversation, and start turning fear into forward motion. In the next episode, we'll talk about something every agent needs: time management and daily discipline. We'll cover how to structure your day, manage your overwhelm, and build habits that actually stick. You won't want to miss it. We will see you then.